Life's been rough, and I had to hack my mom's accounts. Okay, there's no easier way to put it. I needed vital information. I had to get into her systems. And the thing I discovered most was just how terrifyingly easy it is if you have the right tools or the right resources, how you can get into somebody's digital life like that. And we're not just talking about mild stuff. We're talking about deep financial information. We're talking about banking accounts, investment accounts, retirement accounts, Social Security Administration. Any one of these things were at my fingertips. And you're saying, wow, Will, how did you do that? What gambit did you have to run through? What labyrinth required you to do this? And I'll tell you, it was just as simple as one PIN code. So the question that we're talking about today, the thing that we're going to be discussing, the item that I want you to chime in on as well is, do you think you are the weakest link in the security behind your digital life? That's what we're talking about today. Let's get into it. There's no other easy way to put it. This is NetHeads.
System activate.
This is NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Transmission incoming from the big giant head.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. The big question, the question on the table, the question we're all discussing, are you the weakest point in your digital life? Are you the weakest link in your own security? And realistically speaking, yes, you are. Welcome to another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
My name's Trent.
You want to take part in the program, you can. Just chat. Throw us your comments. We want them. Throw them in the comments section below or wherever the hell it is on the platform that you're watching, because we're here for you and we're here to discuss it. So, Trent, getting some stuff out on the table, of course. I said I had to hack my mom's life. For everybody in the Gen Pop audience, I will preface this by saying, don't worry about me. I'm fine now. My mom passed on March 5th, regrettably. And yes, go ahead. Say the pleasantries that everyone says.
Me or
You, Trent. The audience can't talk to me.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if this was like a meta thing, like a
No, just thing. We're in the show.
Oh,
Why is it so hard for you to conceive?
No, I just
I don't think that's tea in that cup that you're talking
wanted
about.
people
Some
to
other
chime
amber
in.
liquid.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I'm glad we got that out of the way. And I'm not being callous about it, guys. I've had plenty of time to heal. Honestly speaking, it was an ordeal that, in my experience, started on the 24th, potentially for my mom, started on the 21st. So
Jesus.
I read no, he wasn't involved. But I read the writing on the wall, and I knew the way that things were going. So, I kind of started pre-morning. So if you think, wow, Will is a little oddly adjusted, or maybe we should get a wellness check after this podcast, I'm fine. But I was faced with a dilemma because when my mom fell ill and I knew I was going to have to manage her affairs, something that we had planned about, talked about, right? This is one of those things that it's an uncomfortable, sucky discussion you don't want to have, but it happens. So you need to address it. So that's what I did. She had told me time and time again, pointed to a rolling cabinet in her family room that had a little lockbox section on it, said everything you need is right there. Okay, Mom, perfect. Mom goes off to the hospital. They said, okay, we're getting ready for the ICU. Now would be a good time if you need to go take care of things, go take care of them. So I did. Fuddled off over to her home. And sure enough, went to, there's no rolling cabinet anymore, Trent. No more rolling file cabinet. Not there.
Oh, really?
So now I'm faced with having to get information, as much information as I can, while also going through what not Gen Pop disclosed. My mom was a paper container envelope hoarder, very cleverly, but man, she stuffed it away. I found tax returns going back easily to 1978. Okay, we're talking about going through one tiny little file cabinet and discarding enough loose paper for it to be at least 20 pounds of paper. Loose paper, Trent, not jammed together like you get from the envelope when you crack open that fresh thing of paper. No, we're talking about loose, crinkled. We're talking about air, plenty of air in between, massive piles. Sorry, I'm trauma dumping.
That's
a lot of stuff. When I was told there was one thing that held everything important. So I'm going through everything. And I have a funny anecdote about that I'll tell at the end. Because I did find the important documents, but the way I found them, unimaginable. We'll save that for the end of the show. Stick a pin in that one, Trent. Call it back, if you will. There we go. So I was in a world where I was grasping at straws and looking for information, but the tools that I had with me were actually plentiful. I had her home phone, I had her cell phone, and I had her computer. Now, technically speaking, we could take that a level further and we could just say, I got into her Google Chrome, and it is terrifying now how much one web browser can just give your life away.
Dude.
If
Yes.
if you're one of those people that, like, I don't know, uses WhatsApp for validation or things, like as a virtual phone or anything, I gotta say, don't do that, because if somebody can impersonate you in software in a different location, that's an exposure point.
Yep.
Okay. I was lucky. I was able to figure out the PIN code to get into the phone, which was also the PIN code to get into the computer. My mom was 85.
Right.
Which was also the PIN code to her bank accounts. But I mean, like, think about this. So let's say instead of my mom, let's say it's me. Let's say I'm on a Disneyland trip and I'm out having fun, right?
Yeah.
And I take off my cross-body bag so I could get some of that back sweat out
Yeah.
from the back there.
Yeah,
And,
it gets hot.
and it's not like it's a backpack. I don't know what I was thinking. It was hot. I was delirious. I left it behind. I left behind my wallet. I left behind my cell phone, everything else. And let's say by some miracle I was dumb enough to also include a way somebody can get into that phone, right? It's a device that's not locked. Or my iPad. I don't know. Let's just pick any one of them. Guys, the minute somebody can get into receiving a text message about validating you.
Yep. There's your validation right there. Yep.
Chase Bank got into that. No problem. Schwab investment account got into
Charles
that.
Schwab.
No problem.
Yep.
Even when I got into the Chase accounts, actually that one is like, okay, well, the security was working because it really wanted to call the home phone to deliver audibly the 6-digit code.
Oh, like a human response.
No, not even a human response. Just let's call this number that we know is not the mobile.
Oh, okay,
to deliver
gotcha.
this.
Gotcha.
Another vector to verify I'm me.
Which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was.
I think that's cool.
But I was in her house, didn't stop me.
Right, yeah.
But you know, you may say to me, Will, not everybody is going to have access to my cell phone. Not everybody can validate who I am via this, that, or the other thing. That part is true. However, if somebody, for example, can just impersonate your Google account.
Yep.
And your Meta account, stick a pin in that.
Ooh,
for a later part in the show.
I've opted out of all of that crap.
We'll get there. Because, funny side note, Trent, not only did I hack into my mom's life, but this past week, I, an IT computer security professional, got hacked.
No!
And an additional note, I'm still under attack through different vectors now. Because one thing was exposed, and now today I got the, okay, we're going to see if we can do something. Let's just try using this email all over the internet through automated means. And I'm like getting emails every this morning it was for 4 hours. It was like emails for consistently for 10 minutes where they're just trying to log in and do things. Which, by the way, too, if you ever want to identify credit card fraud early on, that's happening, don't look for big suspicious charges on your account. Look for minuscule ones.
Yep. Look for those Amazon buys.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
Not
little
even
Amazon
that,
buys.
man. Yeah, anything that's going to be like a cheap transaction, like $1.99 and below, because they're just testing to make sure that they've got enough information to use your card, or they're doing enough damage under floor limits, which is a certain amount where they'll automatically give an authorization instead of validating with the company that issues the credit card, or also known as the, never mind, I can't remember if they're the acquirer or the settler. Anyway, the major banks, the card brands, all those, the processors. I should know that because I used to be a payment card industry data security specialist. Anyway, So my mom's accounts were very easy to get into, but if you think about it, all I had to do was to get into her Google account, and almost half the information I need is there.
Right.
And if I can also falsify who I am at enough of a confidence level to get into the password manager within Google, I've got everything there. Now, Trent, what have you done to mitigate the password problem? Because I think the password problem is, and I have a side note on that as well, but I think the password problem is one of the biggest ones that we have. How do you, everywhere you go, you now need a unique password. You're also having to reset passwords because you got so many passwords, you're forgetting passwords. But what are you doing to mitigate the risk? What are you doing to mitigate your digital security?
I am now a 10-year user of LastPass.com. So that's my password manager, and basically I've got one 18-character secure password, and then it creates for everything else. It manages all that. Every time I go to a website, pops up. If it needs to be re-upped, I auto-generate a secure password, go from there. So I have one password that I remember, and it is the bane of my existence whenever I have to log into something on my TV because there is no LastPass app for Samsung televisions. That's the only place I've run into an issue.
Now you're bringing up a very good point, but now let's take somebody like me into example. 10 years, hopefully you can talk about it, right?
Yeah.
But the idea here is I have got my phone, I've got my iPad, I've got the TV, I've got a laptop, so I've got all these things, right?
Yeah.
So how can I still, because I know the flip side of your problem is it's the bane of your existence. However, you can go into LastPass on your phone.
And see it, yes.
And get it. So,
exactly.
It's like, but when you have all of these multiple devices, how can you use LastPass effectively? Like, is there a seat license or a limit?
Yeah, so the free version gives you one mobile device. One mobile device and kind of infinite web browsers. So that's kind of the I have a free version for my work. That's all my work passwords because it's on one mobile device. It's not on an iPad or anything else. And then I have a paid version which I think it's like $30 a year for my personal version, and it gives more devices than I have. So I haven't run into an issue outside of where I'm not using a paid version for my personal use.
And we're going to see, and that is a great thing to do. That is a very, very good thing to do. If you have the password manager, that way you only got to remember one thing. You can also, if you feel like there's a compromise, you have the ability to quickly change it.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, if you're on your phone or you're on your computer, the two places you're going to need to enter passwords the most, you've got the resources, so that way you don't have to remember the unique passwords. Because when he says generate passwords, people, it's generating a complex algorithmic password instead of just, me coming up with, a
phrase.
I love Boba Fett 995.
Right.
Or as I found in my mom's stuff, many different variations of a play off her address. And that's an excellent thing. And I will say too that if you want to get into like National Information Security, NIST, the place that manages and dictates what they feel are the best computer security practices, part of the government. Take it with a grain of salt, if you will. If you don't, thumbs up, buddy. But one of the things that they're doing is because for many years I have been a fan of the passphrase instead of the password because it increases complexity and reduces the ability for entropy to be able to algorithmically determine what your password is.
Right.
Using fancy words, bear with me, folks. So I've been a long fan of passphrase, and NIST is starting to go in that direction as well because now they're going 18 character.
Yep.
But they're staying away from complexity and more along the lines of just that length.
Just length.
And here is the shocker for anybody that's in corporate America and every 90 days is the bane of your goddamn existence. NIST is also recommending not rotating passwords anymore.
Oh,
they're
really?
recommending using extremely complex passphrases.
Oh, sure.
And then don't make people change them because the requirements to change in so many places are reducing our capacity to be able to come up with passwords.
Right. Yeah.
And laziness and frequent changing can also lead to laziness. For example, like maybe your password is I fucking hate it here 08 or 01 exclamation mark, right?
Yep.
And then the 90 days is up, so it's I fucking hate it here 2 exclamation mark.
Yep.
And then when those run out, it's exclamation mark and @ symbol. I had to see what was next to 2.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I guess we know what's not in any of my passwords. So, but speaking of my passwords, Trent, flip side of the coin, I so easily got into my mom's world. My Meta account was compromised. Now, that's problematic, and it's problematic for many reasons. One, because my personal account is also associated with certain corporate accounts with a certain clerks creating person you may know.
Jesus.
Now, but also, I do not know if I was the entry point or a victim, because I am telling you now, because I'll explain to you the scenario and you tell me if I'm wrong. My hypothesis, if you will, is that we are going to hear about some type of exploit that was within the Meta architecture. Because, is it this phone? Yeah, this phone here that I'm holding in my hand, Trent. Not even going to show you the front of it. That's how.
Yeah.
When it comes to the world of Meta, if I need to log into something, first of all, my password there is a pain in the ass. But if I have to log into anything, even if you have that password, this device has to authenticate it.
Oh, it's just so you do have 2-step set up on it then.
Yes, and
Yeah.
this device has to do it. It has to be this one.
Yep.
Like that's why I don't want to lose my phone,
Right.
and it's why I have to take extra steps before. And why do I even, you may say to yourself, well, Will, yesterday was your birthday. Who cares about Facebook on March 21st? True. And on March 18th, I didn't give 2 shits about it either. Look, I'll be very upfront. I hate Facebook. I enjoy Instagram. Threads is nice. I'm stuck.
Yep.
I have a Quest 2, so
Yeah.
I'm stuck in the infrastructure, but I have no idea how I was exploited, because it could have been through those partnership connections, because again, I
Right.
didn't authenticate it. I
Anything,
never even
right?
got, the only thing I got were, by the way, I love that the height of warnings that Facebook gets are emails that Gmail is going to go over and punt over to the separate updates folder or something. That's so extremely helpful, guys. But within 2 hours also, I was completely disabled, locked out of my Meta accounts with no hope of ever retrieving them. Because the exploiters were attempting to mitigate that, or they did shit that was so bad,
That
Facebook instantly said,
was like, this is an issue.
no. Or, because I mentioned those connections, Smodco, they were the ones that got called into action. They're the ones I only knew that there was a problem. They were aware of a hack. And in risk mitigation, I could have been disabled at that points too, because that's
sure.
when it happened. At the point where I
Yeah.
knew they were mitigating risk, suddenly all of my shit was disabled, possibly because I was an account that was connected there and they didn't understand why this guy in Brentwood, California is doing anything with Smodco.
Sure. So it could have been
To which I respond,
yeah.
Google me, Barbara.
but well, and that's I think that's another point though too, is like tangentially you can be infected by these things.
Yeah,
Right?
and you never know.
Whether like regardless of how good you are at
Yeah.
your own security safety, just the fact that you're tied to another to a shared business account of something, it can affect your own personal things.
Which is the reason why, as a security professional, I've never wanted to take advantage of Google or Facebook or anything account integration for authentication.
Oh yeah, well, and like there's I mean, I run into this a lot at work. As cumbersome and pain in the ass, and everyone complains about software and devices that are built around enterprise use. There is a reason for it,
Mhm.
and a lot of it is risk management.
Yeah. That's all.
Right?
Well, I mean, it's funny you mention that, because that is the way a lot of companies validate all their security controls. It's because they have a risk management program, and they've got to do risk management analysis at least once a year.
Yep.
But that's what everything is. It's all about risk mitigation. Everything you're doing is to make sure that your stuff stays secure, because we're forced into a digital world anyway now.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, let me walk you through the scenario. So at 5:25, there was a notification of concern. By 7:14, I was not allowed to exist within the Meta infrastructure anymore.
Jesus.
And I have to tell you, in that first hour, the only reason why I was upset about it really was Instagram and Threads, and I had just become the memorial manager for my mom's Facebook account. And like that's the only way I have to communicate with the people that were her
everybody.
friends so
Yeah.
that they're aware of the celebration of life that'll be
Yeah.
happening on March 23rd. Because other than that, like Facebook, the only thing it's good for is like, okay, it's my wife's birthday, it's my anniversary, you know, it's my birthday. People are going to send notices, kind of shit.
For me, and it's Utah has a really good free classifieds site that's run by one of the news companies here. But it's very interesting because only people who are like selling specific items and like that are more higher value use it. Everything else that's say below $100 is just Facebook Marketplace. And
Oh.
literally that's and it's the worst. The search on it is awful, like, but you can find shit for nothing.
Which, by the way, I use Facebook Marketplace as the arbiter to decide what I should let the junk company take.
Take or not. That's
it's
smart.
And the way I did it is I set the value. Anything I posted, the value was $25 because I'm just like let my mom's tragedy be a benefit to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I'm not looking to make money. It's not a shakedown, whatever. But I put it at $25 because I figured $25. It's just above having a 20, so it's a matter of inconvenience. So if there's real interest, people know they're gonna have to split a bill. I know that sounds dumb. But you also don't want to offer anything free because then you get anything from the tweakers to the respectable seekers, right?
To the people who don't call because they think it's a scam.
Exactly.
Right.
So you weed out a lot by putting monetary value. And by that method, I knew, okay, this gray rocker can stay. This chair can stay. Nobody cares about a floral printed grandma-looking recliner chair. Get rid of that. Red couch, piss on it, let it burn. Don't care. Gotta go. Which I wasn't expecting to utilize Facebook for, but it was very handy. So I guess Facebook does have some of its benefits, but other than that, social network speaking.
Oh yeah, but but that's so tangentially to any of its like main when they're describing their IPO, like local sales of like used goods. They're like, what, Craigslist? They're like, yeah, but better.
Exactly. Gosh darn it. You son bitch. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. We're so forced into a digital world now, and with so many, and like even our entertainment being divided into different services, we are dialed way too thin when it comes to these instances happening. And you know, look at my case. I did everything right. I had multi-factor authentication set up.
Yep.
I had complex passwords, password managers. Somehow I still got exploited. And the terrifying thing is, I did everything right. I still got exploited. And at the point where I was, if I didn't have connections, I don't know that I'd have my accounts back right now.
Right.
I had them back within 48 hours, and it's only because the same association that may have caused me to get hacked, or I may have caused them to get hacked. Jury's out. Thankfully, I'm not the only person in the organization, if it was my fault, that has been hacked, so we can be okay with it for now. But I have to say, though, Jordan Bonsanto Muse, Jason Muse's wife, Jason's publicist has connections in Meta still.
Oh,
and
good.
was able to get her connected, and they were able to get it worked out. And it was interesting the steps that I had to go through, even though I did everything right.
Right.
But like everything else for their platform, for Meta, is mitigated within the Meta platform.
The one platform, yeah.
So if you don't have the ability to get into Facebook, you're out of Facebook.
That's it. Yep.
Done. A lot of people experience the exact same thing with like TikTok, because that one is like community guideline violations. Yes. A lot of their system is mitigated and managed by AI.
Right.
So if, like, let's say somebody mass bombs you for bad content, even though the content's not bad.
It's not, yeah.
It'll just say by the numbers, screw it, your account's dead.
Yep.
And those people, in order to recover them, have to have a connection as well. There are companies that are TikTok relationship managers and creation centers. So they have connections in TikTok and help people get their accounts back. I mean, honestly speaking, if you think about it, I am sure if I sat down and actually did my due diligence for this show, but I drew the line at 3 hours on a Saturday morning putting this crap together.
Yeah.
That's where I draw the line, Trent. That's where it is.
Not 3.5.
Not 245. Anyway,
No, that's crazy though, because it breaks my brain that there's now a tertiary market for not even just public relations, but relations influence. Right.
Let me tell you something, Trent. If I were in a major, wait, what's the term I'm looking for? If I was in one of the major metropolitan areas,
yeah,
and I had the ability to buy something as stupid as a storage space that's like, let's say, the size of 3 conventional, a loft. Let's say I were able to somehow get my hands on a loft that's rated for commercial.
Yeah.
All I would do would be framing the entire outside of it with lightings and unique scenes and conventional things so that a content creator can just roll in and make silly content in any place.
It's a ready go studio.
Exactly.
Right?
Instead of worrying about green screen, you want to do some funny content and for some reason want to use behind bars, silly stuff in the kitchen, living room hygiene.
Good idea.
And best of all, after hours, hand the keys over to the porn people. Just say, make sure it gets steam cleaned after.
I was gonna say, yeah. So you leave the industrial flooring so you can hose it down.
Leave them drains in. We're gonna need them. But yeah, I'm sure if I went on to Google and I did a search right now, I would learn that you can actually, there's probably businesses that handle social media recovery and mitigation. Probably lots of scam houses too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, shit, like be on both sides of the same coin, right? Like you have an infinite client base.
There you go. Well, that's kind of what one of the places I'm referring to. Great company, Go Live Vegas. Okay, look them up if you're in the Vegas area and you're a content creator, or if you lose your account. Great people. But that's what they do. They have locations. They do account mitigation, account management, like the whole thing.
Yep.
I can't even believe there's a commodity built up around it, but this is the world we're living in now. I mean, look, I who resisted AI for the longest time. It's the only thing driving the show right now. Not really, but yeah, anyway.
But
that's for the future show where we decide if NetHeads does survive or not.
Does survive, yeah. But that's the word you use is totally right. Is commodity, right? Because at a certain point, someone who does have following, who does have influence, who is using their persona, their social value online, that is a qualifiable and, more importantly, quantifiable commodity, right? And if you're not able to get that out, your stock in yourself starts dropping quickly, right? So that makes total sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and by the way, too, I got to say, as a person that is, I mean, let's face it, when it comes to content creation, I'm more content adjacent and in some cases very lucky, right? And I never capitalize on it, which is funny, too, when you think about it, because of the amount that I have personally invested in things. Oh, look, here's a DJI Cosmo Pocket 3. It's a total game changer for making content. The only trick is you got to turn it on and shoot.
Yeah, you got to make content with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, but seriously, it's a genius device. You combine one of these with one of these, the DJI Mini microphone. It instantly pairs with it. It also records ambient audio from the onboard and mic. I mean, from a content creation standpoint, it's amazing.
So I don't want to derail things, but
go ahead.
DJ as the company is one of the ones that I see used by a few people, and I'm gonna sound like an old man here, get off my lawn, but you know what's a lot less awkward than holding a microphone like this?
Huh.
Holding a microphone like this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, but we've already covered that, Trent.
You know?
What is my purpose? Already addressed this.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, for everyone out there who spent the, $150 to get the lav mic that never uses it as a lav mic, everyone only uses it like as they talk into it like this. They just hold it right up. Just buy a fucking microphone. If you're going to hold it in your hand, just buy a regular microphone or print like you have. Like, just hold something, because this is the ugliest way to speak into a microphone ever.
Yeah, I completely agree. Why do you think that for every single wireless solution, which by the way, again, clearly I've got a problem. Thank God I have an inheritance, I guess, because like here's the Rode wireless mic, right? So I had to 3D print printed a whole set of handles, couldn't find them, reprinted the whole set of handles. Now, how often am I going to use that if I'm using DJI? That much, okay? That's how much. That's my level of concern, Trent. But you know, it's ridiculous. But also, it's like so easy. You just need to hold the microphone. I know it's hard to attribute something on social media to one person because I'm sure it all depends on who did it first, right? But when it comes down to the lav mic close to the face, I'm actually going to take you back to the Apple headphones, the traditional wired ones that used to come out with the mic in, the iPhone headphones.
Yeah.
Right?
With the
There's a
inline
content
mic.
creator. In the past 6 years, the things that this guy has been able to do are really incredible. His name is Juju, goes by the name of Straw Hat Goofy. He wants to be your movie guy, does movie reviews, does movie interviews. I mean, he's the internet's social media commentator or for movies, much in the same way that that Coy, God, why can't I remember Coy's last name? DeJandrew? It's something along those lines. I'm sorry, Coy. I apologize. But that's what you get for not friending me. Same thing, right? Very prolific in the space. But what Straw Hat Goofy was doing, he was using the iPhone mic, but he was holding it close to his mouth because, in case you guys haven't noticed, proximity leads to great volume.
Totally.
And better sound quality, right? And that's what he was doing. And I think that kind of started the trend so that when somebody got something else close into their hands that was concerned about audio, they're just worried about getting it close to their face, which, you know, great idea. But it looks weird when you're talking to your hand like this, right? I've seen the, what's the appropriate term here? Not domestically challenged, but homing challenged, whatever the appropriate term is for the people that have consciously uncoupled from having a living space. What the hell? What's the political? You know what? Everybody that speaks in metaphors and political correct terms can shampoo my crotch.
As the British say, people who are living rough.
There you go. That's a much easier term. Don't even remember what I was talking about them for.
Was it an interview with people who are living rough or?
No, I don't know what I was.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Regardless, no, like it's funny because the inline mic for the iPhones, like butted earbuds, it's still a great mic.
Yeah.
There's one
I was going to say that the homeless. I've seen homeless people look just as crazy.
Oh,
but
exactly.
They don't have a mic.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a economic scientist that I follow, and he does at least one video a day. And I like it because the way he uses it is great because he still wears the headphones, and then he just pulls it tight.
Yeah,
because that's the biggest downfall of it is the crinkle. He picks up every little crinkle or whatever.
Right.
So he just talks and holds it tight off to the side, and still a little distracting because obviously I'm keyed in on it. But yeah, like it drives me nuts. Like wear it on it's made to be worn on your shirt. If you're still worried about getting better better sound quality, you bought the wrong microphone.
I completely agree, and I have to say something too, and this is why I kind of want to reframe it. First of all, it is culturally accepted on TikTok and the like. People are doing it. We just have to let that go.
Yep.
However, I will say, if you're out in the wild, okay, and you're shooting content, not specific to microphones, but something like the Pocket 3 here is great because visually it's not as easy to understand, so people are less aware of what it is.
Yes.
Which helps you to feel less self-conscious when you're doing this stuff out in the wild.
Yep.
You know, around the house, it's convenience. Outside in the real world, I don't want to look like the dick that's walking around talking to their phone like this.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yep.
But also, and people, like I said, they don't know what that is, so they don't know how to react to it. So you'll also get less smart-assy people. But when it comes to microphones, if you're in a situation where you're using a microphone and you're just talking to yourself, great, I'm glad you like real sound quality. But, you know, if you want to look authoritative and you're doing in the field interviews, you got to have a mic. So
Yep.
that's why, again, if you want something that is compact, because I will say, being able to throw my entire social media kit into one like shaving kit size bag is amazing now.
It's awesome. Yeah.
It is.
It,
It is
it's
best.
interesting too because there are small form cameras. They're all kind of about the same. The sensors are all pretty much the same.
Mhm.
And a lot of them, if they don't have any sort of optical zoom or anything, so it's all just kind of just a sensor and a small lens.
Mhm.
But it's crazy the validity that people give to size.
Mhm.
If I show up to a shoot that I could do with a cell phone, but have a 35-pound Sony that I've got to put up on sticks because it's too heavy to even put on my shoulder, whatever, it changes everything. The whole like response, the level of stoke that I bring in with that goes up so much higher in the room. Everyone takes it that much more seriously, as opposed to just, oh no, we're just gonna shoot this with this little guy right here, because that feels
Trent,
tangent
let me
or
tell you
like
something.
temporary, I guess.
Let me tell you something. What's the name of the company that's very well known for their camera bags? Is it Bogan?
So there's, my favorite is Petrol,
Okay.
but there's Petrol, there's what's the one I've bought a whole bunch of? I don't even know their name. Hold on.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you just reach off camera and pull something up real quick? That one's nice.
Arco.
Look at that. I can't remember the name of the company, but they also made a tech vest, and I got to tell you something.
Oh yes.
I have never had an easier time moving in and out of any space than when I was walking around with a camera and a tech vest on. Nobody stopped me. I could go anywhere.
Yep.
You know, I probably could have gone all the way to the Oval Office. Who knows? But
yeah, no, you want to look like a director. Like John Milius had it down pat with the fishing vest with like all the pockets and everything. You look like Cable from 1990s X-Men walking around.
Nice reference, exactly. But you know what, Trent? Even with these things, like I think they probably have the ability to go live, but naturally they have an app, and I'm sure. Guess what? There's an integration. So, folks, the reality, getting back to the topic on hand, in case you were wondering where the hell we went, you got to remember that when it comes to like your online security now, you really do have to be careful. You can't reuse passwords because you're the weakest point.
Yep.
Whether it is the fact that you're doing everything right, or whether it is the fact that you even have email. The number of people in my life that ask me, is this mail real? Is this real? You know, and then I've got to become a forensic expert, and I'm like, nope, they're fishing for information.
Yep, totally.
And by the way, it's not just in your digital life. I remember one time last year, I received a phone call, and they asked me it was Mr. Wilkins. I'm like, yes, and like, and is your wife Denise Wilkins? I'm like, yes, and I'm like, and hello, this is such and such from City Fraud Prevention, and we're seeing charges going on, and I'm like, oh, really? In my mind, knowing she doesn't have a city account, now I've got somebody on the phone I can fuck with.
Yeah.
Which I then proceeded to do, but you know, because I knew that she didn't have an account. But the questions that they were leading, all they were doing is they were fishing for the information they would require to authenticate elsewhere.
Yep.
That's what they were looking for.
Yep.
So you have to be careful everywhere you look and in everything you do. I mean, like one of the first things I did after I broke into my mom's technology, because I knew she was an 85-year-old woman using a computer. Pardon me, because I knew she was. Look, guys, all I'm saying is tech tolerance goes down as you get older. I'm not trying to be judgmental.
No.
It's not about sex. It's not about age. But as much as my mom's house demonstrated, when you get to a certain age, you do get lazy about things.
Yeah. There are
And one
things
of
that
them
have
could be
less importance to you.
Yeah, or you're not as easily able to identify digital concerns.
Totally.
So the very first thing I ran was a pre-boot in-depth malware scanner.
Yeah.
That I booted the computer into.
How bad was it?
Huh?
How bad
Actually,
was it?
I gotta say, surprisingly, it was clean. And the minute I was hacked on Facebook, the very first thing I thought was, did I sign into that thing anywhere?
Yeah.
Did I? I don't think I did, but did I? No, I didn't. Because I'm like, oh, did I just enter something that had a what is it they use, a key tracker?
A key tracker, yeah.
Keystroke tracker. But man, it is just so weird to be on both sides. It's like ethical hacking coin versus the malicious being
Right.
hacked coin. I can't believe I traversed those same two things within the same 30 days.
Yeah.
I mean, have
seriously.
you ever had any type of, I don't know what it is about me other than the fact that I'm on the internet way too much, and I don't mean using it. I mean, and I'm not saying, oh, Google Will Wilkins and look me up, bitch. I'm just saying my name is out there, right?
Yeah.
So if you were a hacker and you stumbled upon one breadcrumb,
You could there's a trail you could follow. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what about you? Have you had any of those kind of tech challenges where you've been hacked in any regard?
I've had one time my Amazon account had like a couple of like weird purchases, and I got a notification right off the bat. And then I got an email, and it said like so and so, like, this isn't right. You should change your password immediately. Don't share this with anyone. Don't share this blah 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 with anyone. So I get on and I change it immediately. And then I get a phone call, and they're like, "Hey, it's so and so from the Amazon blah blah blah. We're just calling to make sure you are aware." But when they went through the whole thing, and we just barely sent you an email with this verification blah blah blah. Now, yeah, we can get everything back going for you if you'll just give us the verification number on there. That's why we sent it to you in the email. If you'll just grab it real fast. They're trying to get me to like look at it and then read it to them back really quickly without reading the email, which
Right.
says
Which says, we'll never ask you for this.
exactly, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I was fast enough on it that I changed it before that, and so again I was like, oh, I can fuck with these guys now.
Yeah.
Because
and honestly, that's the best part. That is the best part.
And the crazy thing is, I don't know how they got in there, how it happened. Like, it didn't affect any of my other things. It was just this one. They got access to my Amazon account somehow.
Yep.
And that's what they'd ordered, like a pair of like generic shoes. They're based out of Chicago because everything was going to Chicago, and like a couple of other like really low key things. And then I called eventually after fucking with him. I called him on it, and the dude got just so mad.
I mean,
he just insanely crazy.
Right? Like you have the audacity to actually want to protect your stuff and have fun while doing it.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you're the thief.
Right.
Why are you sending curses to me in languages I don't understand?
Yes.
Because I'm guaranteeing you something involved your genitals and an animal at some point, and possibly your mother.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. And then the only other time I've had, and on this, it's funny because it was probably the most valid one ever, but I still just wasn't comfortable doing it. And it was supposedly someone from Wells Fargo. And they were just, she said we're from such and such branch, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, we just need to verify this, blah, blah, blah. And it was all benign stuff. And then she's like, and just what's your social for your last verification? And I was like, if you work at the bank, if you work at the bank, you should have that. You're like, yeah, but we just need to verify it. I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Well, no, that's where you go. That's funny because most banks would only ask me for the last 4 of my social because that's all that you can see because the rest is masked.
Yep. Yeah. So and then after that, now it's I think those have been my only.
It's bullshit.
My only 2, and only 1 actual compromised account, and it was during COVID, so I was just on the computer all day, every day, not doing anything. So it was like fast. Yeah.
As were the thieves, my friend.
So were they. Yeah. But other than that, that's it for me. Luckily.
And my whole thing is, I have had my finger in the internet dike for. That's a thing that holds back water, guys. I just want to be clear, okay? I've had my toe in the internet waters. Probably should have gone that route first. Well, for a long time.
Better than saying you're like that little Dutch boy with his finger inside a dike.
There you go. Well, you got to learn what you like somehow, Trent. That's all I know. Yeah. But I have been, I've been at this. It's old hat for me now. Like, I started coding HTML in probably 96. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that might be it. Roughly 2 years after marriage, I was working with HTML in the apartment, so it tracks. Yeah. So like 95 actually, as early as maybe 90. No, wait a minute. You know what? It doesn't matter. Since the 90s, I've been coding websites, which naturally led to me finding cheap hosting and hosting websites.
Yep.
And then things like WordPress. Having exploits taken advantage of is old hat to me. So like even the thought of quote unquote being hacked is kind of low risk to me, but it shouldn't be with how people's digital security is required now.
Yeah.
And so if you're listening to the sound of my voice, the most important message that I'm trying to convey to you here is that you need to have your security mapped out and taken care of before it's a problem. Because you are the weakest link in the chain.
Always.
And you are also the mitigator of your entire life. Now, what does that mean? Not to play off a joke from the last season of Rick and Morty, I know no one has time for 3-factor authentication, but in all seriousness, every security measure that they have available, you should implement, because you need to be able to both have redundancies on your security, and you have to have redundancies on the way that they can reach you.
Yep.
Okay. You need to make sure that you're not reusing passwords. I think the best password mitigation is what we talked about here. A good, reliable, reputable, that you're comfortable with password service is probably your best bet. If it's something that can work on your phone and on your computer, you've got your two best places covered.
Yep.
So utilize that. Let it come up with the complex passwords and do what they feel are good security guidelines for passwords.
And if anyone was like an early adopter into password managers early on, like they were janky, like early on, like it would generate for every time you logged in, it would try to do like, it's gotten so even just in the past 5 years, like the integration is so much better now than it was 5 years ago even, that like the hardest part of getting a password manager is updating, is putting it in control of all the things that you go to.
Right.
And that's
Right.
not hard, it's just time consuming.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, if you're using Google as your password manager, like I just said, you have way too many access points that people could potentially exploit, because it's not just the sites you're using.
Right.
Let's take, for example, my case. Let's say I was hacked because of my connection to Smodco properties and somebody else that's connected to Smodco properties. They got exploited, those got exploited, I got exploited. Let's say that's the path that happened. I had absolutely no control over that. There's nothing I could have done to prepare for that. So I would have needed to have good recovery options in place, which I did not. Okay, so I ended up undercutting myself there. But there are so many different places that you can be logged into through a particular account that, you don't even know. And like I said, if you've been using Google Password Manager, that's only as secure as their ability to verify you are you. And that's based on what you have set up. Like, for the longest time, there were always jokes. Oh, Windows, I'm on a Mac because it's secure compared to Windows. But, I will say that at least, at a minimum, Windows annoyingly will ask me for the password or PIN when I'm going into Google Password Manager.
Right.
Okay. Also, if your device can be integrated very much so into your security. If I log into a Google account, I'm going to have to go to a different one of my devices to get the Google code to do that. And they may still send me a 6-digit Google code as well.
Yep.
Set up as much security as you can. If you're going to rely on one thing, make it a password manager. Because like Trent said, the technology has advanced so much that we're now at the point where we can very easily get back into everything and move everything. And we can just use one password manager that adequately knows how to integrate with stuff. Case in point, technology advances in many ways. I recently saw a product demo that's involved for filling out standard web questionnaires, right? You've built a library of your answers, and you're going to constantly get an interpretation of one of these questions that require the answers. And they're at the point of 98% implementation of being able to work with anybody's web forms, because technology is advanced enough that they know, it's like or they've negotiated backdoor agreements where they're like, when we come to it, we're safe.
Yeah.
But that again, that's also an exploit point.
This is interesting though too, and some of it is just being like the other side, right? Is of outside of, so if you're doing all your passwords and everything, you like just being digitally aware.
Yeah.
of where you're going and what you're putting stuff into. A colleague of mine, her son, I mean, he's in college. He's like 21 years old, like a digital native. Like you would think he knows how to like. And I've met him a couple of times. He seems like a pretty savvy kid.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a passport because he's going to do a semester abroad. Went through, filled out all of the information. Called his mom up. Got because they need like a mother's maiden whatever blah 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 for all the because passport is like a chore. And then his mom, who works in the same suite as me, she was like, "That's weird. He just called me." I'm like, "Oh, is he filling out on paper?" Because a passport is one of those things that still is applied for analog.
Yep.
You fill it out on paper. And I was like, "Well, has he gone to the post office to pick up an application?" She's like, "Oh shit." And then he called her back like within 3 minutes and was like, "Oh shit, I just filled out a thing, blah blah blah." He's like, "It looks like a duck, like I don't know if it was a duck of URL, but it looked like totally branded by the United States government, blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah." And so they had like spent a full day shutting down everything preemptively. So, but it's just one of those things you've just got to be somewhat aware of what you're putting your stuff into.
Yeah, and risk mitigation, guys, that's another good point. Almost everything in the government's still going to require a phone call or paper. You can't do it online. If if anybody's asking you for any information in your email that requires you to log in, just don't do it. Go independently to the place. Like, we think your Amazon account has been hacked. Validate this information. If you log into your Amazon account, they'll ask you for the same thing.
Yep.
So you know you're working with the good source. Do that. That's another good risk mitigation. And you know, not to mention as well, just question everything, okay? Question everything. Imagine everybody's trying to get your shit.
Yep.
That's what you got to do. Because Trent, it's always the things that we're not aware of, right? That will that protect us or that attack us.
Or that
it's always
yep.
the things we can't perceive, the things we can't see, which oddly enough is going to bring me into my favorite part of the show, Trent, because we get to take all of this seriousness, all of this stupidity, and instead we get to put it behind us and we get to put you to the test. And I'm going to ask you about this 3D print.
What is my purpose?
That's right. We're going to go into what is my purpose. This is the regular segment of the show. I'm a 3D print enthusiast, and we always, I'm printing shit all the time, okay? That's just the way it is. That's just how it's going to be. We're not going to get away from it. But I figured there's a fun way to make content with it. And how do we do that? We talk to Trent about it. And how do we talk to Trent about it? I present him with an object. He does not know what this object is for. He does not know what it is to be used for. All he knows is he has to determine for it.
What is my purpose?
So, Trent, we're going to go to the single shot because Trent can see the production feed, but he can't just see me. So, this, sir, is the object. Take from it what you will. I will give you the 360-degree view. So that is the horizontal. I will now pivot on the vertical, which, by the way, seeing this reminds me, folks, Project Hail Mary in theaters now, an amazing film. Just fucking great. Okay, so this is the object. Trent, I'll even give you a slightly skewed view.
Yeah.
Panning. So the question, Trent, and for those listening to the podcast, what I am holding up essentially looks like in a box with an ellipse side, a tab. There's some type of cone shape coming out of the top of it, and it's a long triangle. That's the best job I can do.
And the cone connects to the box with a hole in the center, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and then the perforation on the top is cheese grater-esque.
Yes. Or like your air filter for your air conditioner.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
For the intake or what they call the return, but it's where the air goes in. I guess because it blows air out and then air returns
Comes back
in there.
into the system.
But that has nothing to do with this, Trent. Now is the magical time.
So,
unless you have clarifying questions, I need to know.
What is my purpose?
And how rub your finger on the nub in the center.
Look, man, what kind of show is this? Usually you gotta pay extra for that, but okay.
I just want to see how. Okay.
You want to see how it's done?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, it's usually for more of
I was
this.
gonna say I've been told it's a myth, but I just wanted to see if you could prove it was actually there.
I did see where it was. Yes, as you can see, I found it.
Okay.
What is this? What
see,
is this thing?
I was really sure until I saw the nub, but
Okay.
I'm gonna guess it is a mobile light diffuser.
That
so
is an amazing idea. I see where you're going.
Where
because
the
there's
light
this-
comes in the bottom, and
right.
then it
So here's what I'm
scatters
gonna
the light.
do.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do, Trent. Just for shits and gigs, I'm going to show you reveal one thing. And guys, the cone portion is now unscrewing from the box. Obviously, you didn't get it right. I'm giving you one more chance. Trent, now that that factor has changed,
What is my purpose?
what is this? What the hell is it? Life's on the line. Got to answer in 2 seconds. The
It's a
segment's
dildo.
only got 3 minutes
It's a
and 20
dildo.
seconds left. Huh?
It's a dildo.
This is not dildo.
Damn it.
Come on, put in the real effort. Seriously, one more
I'm
guess.
guessing it's a 3/8 inch thread on the bottom.
I mean, if I had to guesstimate, sure.
I only say that because that's like what a microphone stand is.
Okay.
And I'm just so in production like head all the time anyway.
All right, I'm just going to
I
stop you
don't
right there.
know.
You're
I have
wrong.
no idea.
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. What this is, Trent, it's actually a functional print because the part that's left out because I couldn't locate it fast enough, there's also a coin slot screw-it-capable attachment that would go in to fill the hole flush because I would fill this with desiccant pellets and put it into the 4-filament holding color engine for the K2 Plus Max. And that way I can buy the reusable ones.
Yep.
I can drain them
And then
out,
you can fill it.
bake them,
That makes so much
refresh
sense.
them, and
Yep.
put them in. So
Yep.
it's all about protecting from the unseen, which in 3D printing world and filament, the unseen demon is humidity.
Right.
So much in the same way that the humidity attacks the PLA, this device, if it were in my digital life, would have protected me from the inherent moisture of digital attack.
Yep. Yep.
Which it would be my firewall, if you will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm sorry. I apologize for using the word moist. I could have just gone with humidity.
I was gonna say it's the
For some reason, I chose violence. What can I say?
it's the piece of bread you put in with your lettuce to keep your lettuce from getting all soggy in
Exactly.
your crisper.
And by the way, Trent, when it comes to 3D printing, one of the things that I have to bring up because I am absolutely amazed by how much I love it. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Sliceworx folks, the Slicebox. I love their build plates. I think it was on the last show. I don't know. It was so long ago. It was before my mom died. Bear with me. And yes, I keep playing that card gruesomely, and it's terrible.
Rightfully so.
But I did get, I got replacement Neo dipped. Neo, meaning next generation
next
epoxy
generation.
overlay.
Yep.
When this stuff is sticky, when it gets warmer, it gets stickier. So as the build plate heats up to hold your filament, it holds your filament. You get less failures. These build plates are great. I just got 2 for my Bamboo Lab A1s, and my old previous generation ones are going to be off to the side. So I got extra build plates, and I could just be printing like a madman. But the Slicebox, Trent, is an amazing thing where in it you get 2 things of filament and you get an extra bonus gadget every month. You also get a flyer that tells you all about the filaments you're getting this month. Like this one is the matte orange PLA and the dreamy rainbow brilliant
that's
PLA,
fun.
which is a tricolor, right?
Yeah, Pride Month's gonna be here before you know it. You want to make sure you've printed what you need.
There you go. Or you know, the Easter bunny's coming. I could print up festive dragon eggs.
Yep.
Anything. But more importantly, too, as a subscriber, you get to take advantage of discounts. You see that QR code on that paper right there? You use that with a code, and you can get $5 off any build plate at Sliceworx. And those build plates are great. And this month's filaments, like you saw, they're in a box. But the bonus tool was really cool because this I could use outside
Dude,
of just 3D printing.
Just freaking love tools. Like just having the right tool at the right time. There's nothing better. Ooh, what is it?
M3, M4, M5, M6, M8, M10, and M12 high strength taps. So I can create threads.
Yep. Oh,
I can
shit,
indicate
that
where
is
I need it,
awesome.
and I create the right thread bearing when I drill the hole into an object.
Yeah. And
So if I
yeah.
wanted to thread connect something, instead of having them 3D modeled threads, I can just, I'm just going to slap this in here, tap that in there.
Yep. No, that's
Last
awesome.
month, they had this great desert, or I think it was southwestern desert PLA but it was a gradient, and it gave me the opportunity from Moon Knight to reprint Khonshu's Ushabti.
Nice.
And look how the kind of the sand with the black, it just adds a natural kind of sand effect without any processing. I love this thing.
So good.
Right? All of that really easy, guys. If you want to take advantage of getting up to $5 off, like the Slicebox subscription or what have you, or your purchase, you go to the link in the bio, or you can go to thatwillwilkins.com, and all you got to do is use the offer code thatwillwilkins to let them know I sent you, and get 5% off your purchase. I really love the people at Sliceworx. I love their products, and man, their PLA, a lot of them made here in the USA too. So if you want to be a 3D printing enthusiast, and you want to express your patriotic side, then you can also get yourself a Slicebox and know what's digging. So highly encourage you to get that as well. But Trent, I got to ask you, how much of a digital footprint do you really have? Because we kind of hit on that. And I've hit all the major points I believe that I wanted to stick a button in, except there was something about my mom and I already forgot it. So
I've it's ebbed and flowed over the years. What you put out there is always going to be there, right?
Yeah.
So that still exists, but it's declined as I have just declined in stoke on the internet, and I've gained more stoke on DIY things, and building things at home.
And chilling in Goodreads.
But really though, it's funny though, because still to this day, some of the for blind searches, it's all my university affiliated stuff that still comes up most.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just out of site size that it's still ranked so highly, because the site is just so massive that my name anywhere just pops right up. So professionally, I feel like I'm doing okay.
But what are the accounts that you do actively use? Because like if we look if we look at our evolution of knowing one another, it's like I was heavily Twitter. Then Twitter became a garbage pile.
Just worse than worse.
Instagram, I've always been transitional and transactional. It's just there. It's benign. It's a good distraction sometimes. Who knows? And Threads, I was hoping would be the same type of finger on the pulse of what's going on that Twitter was, but I always forget it's there.
Yeah, it's Threads has a lot of potential. If it wasn't Meta, I would be all involved. I would be so for it. I think Threads is the corporate pressured Substack.
Very good.
Is like, and I do like Substack quite a bit actually, and it's been really interesting to see, especially with independent journalism, as people have been disenfranchised with a lot of things, and just out of platform accessibility for people to put voices out there. I've seen some pretty interesting, cool things. It's interesting because Substack is essentially just, more or less Medium, but it's just kind of better.
Substack is essentially WordPress on steroids.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
But you bring up a very valid point, because like even realistically, if you want to take out all the current ongoing bullshit out of the way about media, the other reason why independent journalism is so important right now, and why Substack does provide a good service, is because as long as you can find, and that's always the caveat, reputable people to get your information from. Right now, we're even seeing how the corporatization of news media has become a detriment, because if you've got to answer to shareholders, you cannot have, unless you've got really good attorneys and a strong backbone. You're not going to be able to protect the independence of your news group.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So totally with you there.
And then like you already mentioned, I'm all over Goodreads. Interestingly enough, there's a new platform that I've been using for about a year now, and I really like it. And it's so goddamn niche that I apologize preemptively. Bookclubs.com, I think is the service, and it's just a way to so for my book club beforehand, because I do have an IRL meeting book club, I
That's
would
in
have
real life for any Luddites that
Yes.
are listening to a tech podcast.
I was basically rebuilding a web page for every vote we did as to what books we were going to read, and then using Google Forms to take the vote, and then if we had to have any tie off double votes or anything like that, it took all of that crap out, and people can just submit the books they want, we vote on it, and then it's all done. Like that one's actually been really nice. But I think their ultimate goal though is to connect people who aren't in geographic similar locations into virtual book clubs.
Right?
Which
I was
me,
about to
yeah.
which I was about to bring up, because I'm like, man, maybe I'll be honest. I don't know if it's specific to Andy Weir or just the fact that I've gotten lazy.
Oh, dude.
But like, I read The Martian after I saw The Martian, and now
Right.
I'm reading I got through 42% of Project Hail Mary before I went to go see Project Hail Mary, because I was
Dude.
just amped about the movie, and then
The
I'm like,
book.
it's that Martian dude. What's wrong with me?
The book. Oh my god, dude. So you've seen the movie?
I've seen the movie, yes.
Okay.
So nothing can be spoiled for me, and like I
Yeah.
already spotted some changes, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But just first of all, as a standalone movie, sci-fi nerd,
Yeah.
absolutely loved and adored it. Yes, I do have some mild pacing notes, but at 2.5 hours, that's always going to come up.
And the book is kind of the same way too. I think
Yeah.
it could have a little editing could have benefited.
Book is more of an interactive experience, so you're more permissive of that because your mind is making the image. So I allow that, as long as it's not like, oh, great, we've got 30 more pages of dialogue. And
I will say the audio version of the book is
which people
really
rave
cool.
about.
Is really cool because of the there's this isn't a spoiler, but there are musical tones employed in the
Yeah.
So in the audiobook they do them.
And as in the movie, naturally.
Yeah. So
the audiobook version, is there a place that I could find that, Trent?
Yeah, yes, there is, Monfrere.
Awesome.
And the narrator is like a top 5 narrator of mine. He's really good.
Yes, he's been popping up on social media because naturally whoever owns the rights to the audiobook right now is taking advantage of it as well. If you love the movie, also enjoy the audiobook version.
Yep. I'm sure. Yeah.
I think that even saw that in the theater. But yeah, the book also for a first person perspective story being told, I think it's perfect.
Yep.
You can also, I swear that book is written cinematically. It like you can tell when you're first reading it and you're getting into it, you're like, I see that's what I thought in the first 2 seconds. I see exactly why somebody knew they had to make this into a movie.
Yep. Oh my god. The first puzzle he has to figure out is just like I'm just like sweating, like, oh my god, how's he gonna do this? Like, oh.
Right? From everything, you're like, what the hell? And thankfully, I went into the book knowing something. But just imagine not knowing anything, and you start reading from that point. It's just a great entry.
Yep.
And I will say too, Trent, two of the things I've heard about the movie that you will take hard in, is the fact that no green screens were used, which I think is amazing.
Wow.
And other characters are completely practical, which lends such credibility that I have to tell you, after we got out and I learned that fact, I had to be reminded, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That is a puppet, but yeah, I totally didn't even think about that seeing the movie.
Yeah.
So it's just an amazing tale. And I do only wish I could have had the what I would say in the book is the one truly, oh my god, horrific, holy shit moment. If that revelation, if I had been able to have that reaction reading it, I can't even expand on what that is without spoiling anything.
I know it, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Which we'll find out in a few minutes, because if you're one of our Patreon subscribers, they get it a little bit before and a little bit after each podcast, which we're going to transition to right now. But thank you very much if you've joined us on this journey with NetHeads. Remember, keep your digital life protected. And, you may think nobody's got time for 3-factor authentication, but when it comes to your finances and your life, and by the way, guys, do everything you can just to keep all your credit cards separate from your bank. Wherever your major money is, don't put that shit together, okay? Just don't. And if you're wondering where the Patreon subscriber of the week shout out is, Sorry, it's Geek Renderer this week. That's who it is. Okay, way to go, guys. But anyway, until next time, my name is Will,
And my name's Trent.
and this has been NetHeads. Keep your digital self protected. Keep yourself safe, and we'll be back
Soon.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker.
Signing off. Resume normal functions in 3, 2, 1.
Goodbye.
This has been a Smodcast production. Smodcast Podcast. Using our mouths on you since